guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, hello, I'm Catherine, owner of Katnipp Illustrations and Baby Blue, and today we're going to be doing another mystery box art challenge. I'm super excited. I really enjoy taking part in these art challenges. Basically what a mystery box is, you can subscribe to different services. For example, this one's Scrawlrbox. This one actually got sent to me. Every month they send out mystery art supplies and a challenge to take part in every month, and it can be such a fun way to discover new materials and push yourself out of your comfort zone. It can also be a really fun way to find new great materials that you might take into your work in the future. So super excited to unbox this. But before we get into it, I just want to greatly apologise for my absolutely horrendous nails in this video. They're really damaged. I'm so sorry about that. Let's just ignore it. Last night I bit them all off and I couldn't manage to bite this one off. My nail technician is literally going to hate me and they're all scabby and gross. Let's just ignore that. Anyway, here is this month's Scrawlrbox. So let's open this up and see what's inside. I'm super excited for this month's challenge. I have fun with these every single month. I'm about to be in for a rude awakening. And let's have a look. Let's get the art prints out for this month. Ooh, Scrawler zine. How pretty is this? This is totally going on my art print wall. This is by an artist called Angelika Schulte, I think. And you can find her Instagram handle there. How beautiful is that? That is so pretty. And then we've got a Scrawler zine. Oh, so this is April 2020s. I thought this was May's Scrawlrbox. Well, this apparently is April, but it's now May. Oh wow, this looks so pretty. So I've never seen one of these zines in here before, so this is interesting. I love that idea. So it says here, you can dive straight into the paper with these pens that I'm assuming are going to come in this month's Scrawlrbox, but you can also blot some pigment onto a palette and add water. You can then use the marker pigment like a watercolour paint for a more delicate colour wash. Oh, I'm excited to try this one out. So here we've got an A5 watercolour paper, cold press 300 GSM. We've got this month's sticker, and then we've got the challenge this month. So this is actually April's Scrawlrbox, not May. I thought this was going to be May. And the challenge prompt this month is Daydreamer. So we've got two colours here, which are watercolour matte. These are interesting colours. Yellow and blue. And then we've got some really chunky pencils here. So let's first look at these. So we've got a big chunky blue watercolour marker. And we've got a nib like this at that side and a smaller nib on the other side. And the same goes with the yellow. These colours are very bold. So it's going to be interesting to work with these because they've paired them with some really ugly colours. Like, these are a very odd colour palette, or at least it's odd for me anyway. Nothing like pushing yourself out of the comfort zone. So we've then got a chunky sketching pencil, then we've got this white nylon watercolour brush, so this will be interesting, and a banana sweet, which I don't like banana flavoured stuff. I don't know why. I love bananas, but I never like artificial banana flavouring for some strange reason. This is going to be quite the challenge, I think, to work with these. I'm going to go get like a cup with some water in so I can dilute these and experiment and do some swatches on this paper. So these are actually watercolour pencils, and I'm really not very good at using watercolour pencils. I don't really have, ooh, they actually work very well as watercolour pencils. I was expecting to have some pencil marks underneath. So we could just use them as a normal pencil if we wanted to. I kind of prefer how it looks on the wash. So we've got brown here, very bold green. Then we've got red, which I'm assuming we could probably make into some sort of pink. Ooh. How would you get red with this though? Because as soon as it's, unless you just build it on top of each other. So here, let's try these. This is what I'm most curious about. We've also got the pencil here as well, which is quite a thick pencil. I usually sketch with very fine pencils, and I don't normally use dark graphite. For sketching, I usually use a red pencil or a pink pencil. So it says we can put it directly down on the paper, or we can put it on the plate here. Did you hear that squeak? We can mix that in and we can mix them together. I wonder if you can mix the markers, like when the marker's laid down on the paper, I wonder if it blends well. Oh, it actually surprisingly does. That actually blended out really, really nicely, I think. So this is going to be interesting because I feel like these are very much on the like primary colour side of things. I think I'm going to draw a mermaid for Mermay because I haven't even drawn one mermaid yet. I'm going to take inspiration from the artist this month who's used like these moons and these stars coming out, and I think I'm going to do like a mermaid based off of this. I'm just gonna go straight in. I'm not gonna plan the sketch, and yeah, wish for the best. So initially the sketch was going quite well, apart from the hands, but let's not talk about the hands. And I wanted to create, instead of just having a fin and a bra, I decided to actually scrub that out and do kind of like a bodysuit style fin that started from like her boobs going down. I thought that would be really, really cute with some sort of frills coming off her side of her shoulders, and I was actually happy with the way this was going. I decided for the colours that I wanted to do a blue suit with like the stars and the moons, and then I wanted to create a darker gradient from the bottom of the fin working the way up, and I really, really liked how this was turning out. It was looking really, really cute. I also wanted to add the fishes that was inspired by the artist who took part in this month's Scrawlrbox, but you'll see here when I do the hair that I make my first mistake, and that is laying the watercolour pencil straight down on wet, and it just didn't work at all. It was really, really hard to blend out, and the paper ended up all fraying and buckling. And the second mistake I made was the eyes. I laid down the watercolour markers straight to the eyes, and the iris was way too far on the right hand side, and it made her eyes look really weird and wide. Other than that, I was really, really loving how the body fin was turning out. Adding the green to the blue was such a good idea and made it have that aquatic feel, and I really liked how this turned out. I tried to fix the hair by going in with some more water and making it dark, but I ended up just making things more worse, so I added some yellow hoping that would hide it, and it was just not turning out great. It was really difficult with the thickness of the pencils to get any detail in the face, and I ended up ruining the eyes. I tried to go back in with some water to try and take out the colour because it was totally wonky on the right hand side, and I just ended up making things worse and worse. As you'll see very soon, I make a huge disaster. It's actually so funny looking at this back, like, what was I even thinking? This was just a big mistake, and I got so frustrated. So I decided to go into Photoshop and see if I could change it. The problem being I didn't scan it in, and the colours were really muddy and lost when I took them into Photoshop. So I tried to add them using different layers, tried to add that same beautiful colour that I managed to get with the watercolour, and I didn't really manage to get it. I got so frustrated with this illustration. I couldn't seem to get the face right, I couldn't seem to get the colours right, everything just seemed to be going wrong, but I really wanted to persevere with it because I really liked how her fin design turned out. Really, I should have just started from scratch and just started from the beginning using the same concept and design, but I just kept going and I got more and more frustrated. I must have redrawn the eyes several different times, and yeah, I kind of feel like I cheated at this point because I put it into Photoshop to try and clean it up. You can't help but really admire people who do traditional art daily. It's just something that I'm really out of touch with. I rely very, very heavily on the digital tools like Edit Undo and the lasso tool, being able to reposition things up and down to get the scale right. So it was interesting for me to try and go back to traditional. I do love working with traditional. I always used to clean up my traditional work digitally on Photoshop. Maybe I made like a slight watercolor change or anything, but I've never really enhanced something this dramatically digitally. So it was interesting to see kind of a mixed media use between the watercolor that I was started with and then the digital piece is kind of like a mixed media piece in the end, and this is the final result and how it turned out. Looking at it now, actually, I don't absolutely hate it. When I was actually filming the video and editing it, I absolutely hated it as I was doing it, but the fishes turned out quite cute actually, so maybe I was being a little hard on myself. talk about polishing a turd. I should have just started from scratch on this whole final piece. When I botched up the eyes and the hair, I should have just went and started again with the watercolours. I don't know why, but I just couldn't seem to fix it, and the more I worked on it, the worse it began to get. I'll be giving away a random winner in the comments below the contents of the Scrawlrbox and everything you've seen unboxing. Just leave a comment below to let me know whether you prefer traditional or digital art. What do you prefer to work with? Because to me, digital is just so much better because I can adjust things, move things about, edit and undo a lot of things. Traditional is really tricky, and I do think I rely quite heavily on digital mediums to either clean up traditional work or to just do client projects, because it's so much more efficient to be able to erase and go back and open separate layers. Let me know in the comments what you guys think to traditional or digital art. What is your preferred medium? And a winner will be picked at random. The contents of the Scrawlrbox will be shipped off to you. It was a bit of a disaster, but hey ho, I hope it was entertaining. And I just want to say a huge thank you for you guys for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all very soon. I'm about to cry in the corner and really question my career as an illustrator. Alright then, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye.